What's going on, guys? Jeffinite here. We're going to do another tier list today, but before we hop into it, if you haven't subbed yet, please do so. My wife told me I could game more if I made a YouTube channel, so that's what I'm doing. So help a guy out here. Sub up so I can play more games. Okay, this tier list is already put together, right? And this is actually the tier list that I made like a week ago, I think, more or less. Since then, we've had a patch. Since then, I've jumped up a little bit in rank, and also I'm just seeing people use different characters in a better way. I'm starting to see a little bit more improvement. I'm starting to see things change with banning. So I wanted to go over this because we did just recently have that patch. Some people got some debuffs, some people got some buffs. And I think that that's very relevant here. And I think that as a result, we do need to kind of rework this just a little bit because I want to make sure, especially if you guys are Grandmaster and below, I want to make sure that you are making the right decisions for your team and you are honestly just prioritizing the right heroes to get good with, because they're all fun, you know, they're all fun to play. But if you really are trying to win, then I think it is important to look at these lists and say, okay, I'm going to focus one of these because they're going to help my team out a little bit better, which is going to increase my chances of winning, which is just going to make for a more well-rounded and more fun gaming experience, both for you and for your team. So with that being said, this is how I had things put together about a week ago, which I do find to still be quite relevant. Let me turn my my mouse on here real quick if I can. I just realized I don't have that on, and it's going to be a little bit easier for me to do this if I turn my cursor on. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to see the cursor now. This tier list, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid in my opinion right now for Grandmaster and below, especially below. Rocket is definitely worthy of being in here since the original buff that he had with Season 2, with his ult now getting damage and healing happening, plus the shielding that it gets. Torch is just doing insane damage. We're seeing him banned quite a bit. Venom is, and has always been, very good. A very, very relevant pick. Groot, he got a little bit of a debuff now in this patch, but people are still banning him. So I don't know, like, truthfully, I can't really tell you from experience, like, if it makes much of a difference. They reduced 100 health from the Iron Wall, but people are still picking him. It's still really annoying to deal with, and I'm also seeing him getting banned a lot. So I feel like he still does remain in God tier, even though he did get a little bit of a debuff. Magneto, I'm actually seeing less of, and I don't know why that is. I just don't think people are really, like, playing him a ton at the moment. So I'm going to bump him down. Let's just throw him down in comp 1. I'm just going to change this to, we'll just change that to unranked so I don't forget why I put them there. Hela, definitely still, I would say, best DPS in the game at the moment. Loki, still very relevant, still very, very good to have in the God tier place. He's an incredible healer. Copying the ults is just really, really powerful, especially if you can copy a Luna's and run them back to back. It's epic. Invis, she can stay. Honestly, I want to say she can stay in here, but I really kind of feel like she needs to be bumped down to S. I see people using her. It's great when paired with Loki. It's really great when you can double up on that ult, but I do think, in a way, I don't really know that I can leave her in God tier at the moment. She didn't get a buff or a debuff, to my recollection, in the patch that just happened. So nothing happened that made her more relevant. Hulk, honestly, he's got to go up to S now. This team up in general, and this only, let's throw this right here. This team up is the best in the game right now. Hands down. If you do not ban, like, Hulk has become a must ban. If you don't ban him and your team isn't running this, but the other team is, like, you're going to lose. It is so difficult to deal with the Gamma Squid with the buff that Iron Man gets. I think he gets like a Gamma Beam too. I've never played as Iron Man, so I'm not exactly sure what it does for him. But this 3-part team up is insane. Even without Iron Man, like, this is incredibly difficult to deal with. Hulk has become a must ban, and as a result, I'm going to throw him in the God tier. He is just that good. I think Namor was down here and Iron Man was there. So definitely swapping him up here from S tier. That is a definite. Emma, I didn't really feel like she was that good. Like she was good, but I do think that now people have really figured out her kit and they're starting to get the timing down, and it's starting to become more second nature for people to be cycling through her skills. And as a result, she has become a burden as a strategist to go up against. I'm seeing a lot of Emmas actually just kind of like run through with Thing and just target myself as a strategist and other healers. The grab and the kick is just, it's nuts. She's got to go up into God tier. I actually started playing with her recently because I was seeing so many people use her, and I was seeing such an incredible like effect as far as the team is concerned and how she's utilized and the effect that she has. And I just wanted to learn her kit a little bit more and start practicing with her. And man, it's super fun. It's super fun, and she's super good too. So God tier for Emma for sure. Thing can stay here. Namor can stay in S as well. If you do happen to have, like, this is a situational, if you want to call this, like, let's make a pretend situational tier list here. Namor would be God tier if you are pairing him with Hulk, but just by himself, I'd put him at S. He's good. He's helpful. The squids are really annoying. You got to deal with them on certain maps. They're better than others. But if you do have Hulk, he would be God tier, but just by himself, staying in S. Cap was really good. They gave him a small debuff, and I do think that it helped. I do think that I noticed a difference in a little bit lower level of survivability from him. So as a result, I do want to drop him down to A. Now, if you do get the team up with Bucky and you get the extra shield, and I think it does like some healing with the team up or something like that, or just like 50 shield or 50 health, I don't exactly remember. That is pretty powerful as well. But now you got to make a team up happen. You got to count on somebody else to be good with Bucky. I don't really come across a lot of good Buckies where I'm at in rank right now, so I don't know. I'm seeing Cap a little bit less since the buff, and I think that other people are using him less because they're probably noticing the same thing that I did. Smaller chance of surviving things when you're running with him now that he had that debuff. Thor can stay here. Thor is super good. These two, I see a lot of people wanting to ban Strange now, and I get it. I know a lot of people are saying he wasn't that good for like a little bit. I was hearing people say that, but I disagree. I never really agreed with that. I think that Strange is very good, and when he's teamed up with Scarlet Witch, it's crazy. It's really crazy. You could even put like this team up if it is a thing, and especially if your Scarlet Witch is good at diving, getting in and out. She has also become quite a burden as a strategist, coming in with the team up ready to go and just like fully just nuking strategists. It's crazy. You have to really keep an eye out for her if they have that team up. S is good for that. If they're together, I would say that maybe you could argue that Scarlet Witch could go to God tier. My only thing with her is like her ult just isn't that good. If you have a good DPS player on your team, like she's not going to get her ult off. So you're kind of just running a dive character with no ult at that point. So we'll leave her in S. Jeff, my boy, he can stay in S. He didn't get a buff or a debuff. I was hoping for a buff. It didn't happen, but that's okay. I think he's strong enough as it is, especially teamed up with Luna here. He gets the extra DPS. He's great for diving, great mobility, probably maybe the best mobility in the game. I would maybe say S is good for him. Moon Knight, man, I gotta be honest with you guys. I didn't really notice before how good a Moon Knight can be. And I think I just hadn't really come up against someone that was like really, really good with him. He has crazy dive and anti-dive potential. And you don't even have to be super accurate with him. He becomes a little bit more like user-friendly because when you throw the Ox and you just shoot at that, you just stand still and just shoot at that. And it will just go and ricochet around. It's pretty insane. I started playing with him a little bit to learn his kit more because I did come up against a Moon Knight that was very, very good, and it was extremely difficult to manage. He can be hard to get to. The range that he can do the damage from is just nuts. I want to throw him up in God tier because I think if you are looking at picking like the duelist role for yourself and you do want to make a choice on who you want to utilize as your primary or preferred duelist, I think honestly the picks are going to be, look, before I say anything further, Torch is very good, but he gets banned a lot. So I don't know that it would be worth spending time learning him. Truthfully, he gets banned almost all of my games. So I think that would be a waste of time to really try and master him just for the off chance that maybe you get to play him. He also doesn't shine on a ton of maps. It's like he's good on some, like Yggdrasil, where it's like super open and you can just fly all over the place. Like it's paradise for him, but he always gets banned there for that reason. So Hela and Moon Knight, like, spend some time on these two. If you want to be a duelist, play these two. And I would honestly argue that you should pick Moon Knight over Hela. And the reason for that is that Hela has some good escapability built into her kit, but Moon Knight can counter dive. So if Spider-Man's like flying in on you, which is the only thing that Spider-Man does, with Moon Knight, when he hits you, if you throw your Ankh at your feet, like if you save it specifically for counter dive, it like knocks Spider-Man airborne and he can't use his skills for a second, and it allows you to just DPS him down. So you can actively counter Spider-Man with Moon Knight, and that's insane. Like as a DPS, being able to self-preserve, I think he's really kind of the only one that we're seeing with a kit like that. And I think that's pretty cool. He definitely should be in God tier. I'm good with Invis staying here. Captain America, we bumped him down. Bucky can stay here too. They gave Adam Warlock a buff, and it's an interesting buff. When he crits, it lessens his cooldowns, but you have to crit, right? So there's like an interesting situation there, because lessening a cooldown is like, that's insane. That's ideal, right? That's always what you want. You want less cooldown. You want a reduction of cooldown timers. You want to be able to speed up your cooldowns and use your skills more often. That's one of the reasons why, as a diver, a lot of people like to play a Psylocke, because she reduces her cooldowns. It's very powerful in the right hands. Adam Warlock, though, I don't see a lot of people using him below Grandmaster, but I think that if you did spend time on him and you did get good with him, he would be a great pick. I'm hesitant to put him up to S, but honestly, I'm going to do it. If you're getting the crits and you're reducing your cooldowns, he's got great burst healing, and the ability to bring your whole team back is pretty awesome. And I think strategically, he's a good pick, especially in the escort game modes. I wouldn't say he's not super relevant in just like the King of the Hill type, the non-moving zone, but when you are bringing, you're escorting like Boss as an example, like that style for the competitive matches, like I think that he shines a little bit more in that area. So we'll put him up at S. Magic, she can stay in A. A little niche. I don't see too many people playing her. Everyone's skill with her seems to be relatively the same every once in a while. Maybe 1 in 20 games that there's a Magic on the other team, the Magic is like really, really good. They're all pretty much just borderline, like they're more annoying than anything. They're not really doing too much. You don't want to get caught off guard as a strategist with a Magic, even at like a normal skill level, because she might take you out. But I think A is a good spot for her. And if I start seeing more of them, I'll consider how skills are changing and how that looks at a higher level. But for right now, I think A is pretty good for her. I don't know that I would recommend like actually spending a ton of time on her, unless you do love her kit, like that play style. Then of course play whoever you want, but I wouldn't put her priority for learning. StarLord's good. His ult is what makes him super good, though. I mean, you've seen people play him like really, really well. Like that 1%, like Brooks as an example. It's insane. It is insane, the potential of StarLord. The thing is, you just don't see it that often. You don't have a lot of people that can spend that much time on him, but he's very good. Honestly, because of his ult, I would be willing to put him up into S tier. That ult can be a game changer. If that is timed right and you are doing it correctly and you have good positioning, and especially if you have good comms, and you can coordinate with your team on when you want to do it, especially to like get a bubble on yourself, like from Magneto or something, or just make sure someone's ready to heal you and keep an eye on you. It's really good. Like you will see games lost because the other team has a good StarLord, and it can be insane. So I'm willing to bump him up a little bit. Mr. Fantastic, I was actually chatting with somebody in the comments on the last tier list about Mr. Fantastic, and they were saying that he probably deserves to be an S. I don't disagree, to be honest with you. I'm seeing people use him more, and I am seeing the skill level of him increase. He's pretty commonly in the games that I play, and man, he's really annoying. If you've got good heals on him, and especially if you pair him with like Emma, where especially with her ult going and him just like punching the crap out of everybody on your team, it's pretty gnarly. I'm willing to put him up into S. Because I've just been seeing a higher skill level of him recently, and I think that really kind of shows the potential that character has. Iron Man, you don't see him really unless people don't ban Hulk. So he can stay an A. He looks like he's fun to play. If you want to play that, you can. But as far as like a tier would go, I think A is pretty solid. Punisher, I got to bump up to A. I felt really confident with him in B last time, but I don't know. It's like the game's changing a little bit. I think, we're into season 2. We got season 2.5 coming at the end of this month. We're going to have some more buffs and debuffs coming. I'm seeing people, it's like the skill level has like heightened a little bit since even just a week ago. There's a little bit higher level of awareness, map awareness, how to play it. People are settling in a little bit better with the characters that they're using. And as a result, I do think that certain characters now look a little bit better than they did even just a week ago. Like, it's crazy the improvement that I'm seeing right now in the games that I'm playing. Punisher up here for sure. I played with one the other day. I was playing as Rocket, and the two of us just ran it. We just ran the entire game, and it was just a landslide victory. These two paired up together, especially like as Rocket, if you're really paying attention to your Punisher and really making sure that you are helping him do what his kit does, it can be unstoppable. Like, truthfully, it can be really, really, really awesome. So I'm good with him being an A. I don't want to put him in S because like I don't think that he would necessarily outshine, like as a duelist. I don't think that he would necessarily outshine StarLord, and also because with StarLord you're not dependent on somebody else. I think with Punisher you are dependent. You need to have Rocket to really actually utilize that kit. And I also wouldn't say he's better than Scarlet Witch. Just because of mobility. He has less mobility than she does. For the B tier, I'm pretty good with this being where it is. Seeing less of Squirrel Girl, unless there's a Groot. If Groot doesn't get banned, then we start to see Squirrel Girl. Certain maps you see her as well. When you're escorting Null's Essence, the Venom map, you do see her there because there's just a lot of long hallways. That's a heavy map for her to be utilized on. Psylocke can stay here. Psylocke's good, but most people aren't quite there yet. They're not as practiced with her as they should be to be utilizing her in competitive, and I just don't come across a lot of good Psylocks. Not to say she can't be good, because definitely she can be. But I would put her at B tier. Iron Fist, yeah, I can stay there. Mantis can stay there. Mantis is pretty interesting, though. I was playing last night, actually, with a bunch of my buddies. We were just playing in quick play, trying out a bunch of different heroes and stuff, and Mantis was super interesting because a buddy of mine was using her not for healing, but for the leaves or whatever to do the attack buff instead. And we had 2 healers plus Mantis, so 3 in total, but he was using her just strictly for attack buffing, and it was noticeable. Like, that was actually quite noticeable. I think if you do have the ability to do something like that, like let's say you're running like Rocket and Luna, or Rocket and Invis, and then you have a Mantis there that's just kind of there to help with anti-dive a little bit, but then also just to be doing the attack buffing and not like super like hard focused on healing. It's pretty interesting. I think you can throw her up to A because I didn't realize she had that utility because I've never played as her. But when we were playing last night and I was learning about the kit, I was like, man, I think I really do need to do a new tier list because I feel like I've learned so much in the last week, and then plus we had the buff, so and the debuff, so it's just worth reworking this a little bit. Widow can stay here. Hawkeye can stay here. You know, if you're good, if you're accurate, you come across these two and they're really good, they can be a problem as a strategist. I don't really see them making too big of an effect that I would say that they're anything worth like really focusing on. Cloak got a buff, but I haven't noticed it actually make a difference. Like even being stuck with one, like after the ult, like chasing me down and then just like being in cloak form and trying to kill me. Like I don't see a change. I really don't see a change. I know obviously she is doing more damage in both forms, but I don't notice a difference. I really don't. I think C is where she remains. Wolverine, I'm starting to see people want to ban him. I'm starting to see the requests come up, and I have played against some pretty gnarly Wolverine. I've had some really good ones on my team recently as well. I think that he can stay in C, but I will say he has the potential to be very, very good. I just don't think that below Grandmaster, you're going to see it very often. If you want to learn him, like if you want to make him a priority to learn, you can hard carry for sure, especially in the earlier ranks like bronze, silver, gold. There's no reason why you as a very skilled, very practiced Wolverine can't carry. I believe I believe myself when I say that. I think that this is an incredible pick right now if you want to really focus on someone and get good with them. But overall, C tier I think is fine. We're seeing more Storm. When I made this tier list, I think I said I'd hardly ever even see people play them. I'm seeing her a little bit more. Spidey, one trick. Black Panther, one trick. It's just the dive combo. Can you take out a healer or not? I think they can stay down here. I don't know. Storm's got her ult, but aside from that, I don't really see her doing anything beneficial. And there's really no other utility. She's a DPS, but there are better DPS than her. Like I get her ult can be cool, and if you pair it with Torch, like that's fun, but there are better DPS than her. Like far better. So I just don't feel like she should be bumped up at all. Same with Black Panther. I mean, if you want to run a dive, be Venom. Just be Venom. You can dive with Venom, and you're a tank. You have higher survivability. You can help your team out more. There's no reason like to hard focus Black Panther unless you love playing with him. Then by all means do it. Okay, unranked Magneto. I dropped him down here. Man, he was in God tier before, but like I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing him like at the caliber of these fighters at this point in time. I honestly kind of want to drop him down to A. I think if you're going to look at Magneto and say like he's super good because of his shields and everything like that, I would argue play Strange instead and hook someone up with the Scarlet Witch team up. I think that this would be a better play. You're doing shielding, you're not bubbling up or creating like, immunity to things, but this is so strong right now. These two together, it's just so strong. Like if you want to bring shields as a tank onto the field and you want to bring, added survivability for your team, like I just don't think that you pick Magneto over Strange at this point in time. I don't think so. We're going to change this down here. We'll go back to comp 1. And then right here, what I want to do is just make like an actual priority list for you guys. And we'll do 2 of each category. So 2 tanks to prioritize, 2 duelists, and 2 strategists. So if you are just getting into the game or you're struggling with ranking up right now, I think that this is a very important thing to really understand. It's always good to be like very, very, very comfortable with 2 people from each category. So you can play you can play all 3 roles, and you can swap if your character gets banned. I don't know if you guys know this or not right now, but just in case you don't, there's this overlay that's out right now where the enemy team or your team, you can look at the other team and see who they play with the most. Like it's practically cheating. And then you get target banned. It happens all the time. Like people ban Jeff now because I'm on the team. Like they're using this overlay. It's straight up cheating. I don't think it should be allowed. And I hope that something is done about this because it's just ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to target ban somebody because of an overlay that you have that's giving game data that not everybody has access to because nobody else is like people aren't using it. It's crazy. So it's very important now more than ever to be good with more than just one character, especially more than just one character for each role. So for tanks, I'm going to say, if you want to play tank role, the 2 that you should really, really focus, Venom and Hulk. That's it. Focus those two. However, I will say this. Because Hulk gets banned so much, if you're seeing that a lot on your end as well, I see it, he's banned every game, then I would say swap and be Emma instead. But you don't get to the banning phase until gold 3. So you got to get through bronze and silver first. Hulk's going to be a good carry there. So if you're not in the banning phase, I would say pick Hulk over. You could interchange. Honestly, I don't want to make this too complicated. Pick 2 out of these 3, whoever you like the most. If you're not in the banning phase, pick Hulk and pick another one of these to master. But then, be working on both of these, because when you get in the banning phase, you're not going to be able to play Hulk anymore. It's just the reality. Same with Groot. Groot's super good, but you're just not going to be able to play with him. The off chance that you do, he's very, very good, very annoying to deal with. Now for the duelists, I think that this is pretty self-explanatory. They're already up here. These are your 2. Prioritize learning these 2, hands down. If you want a little bit more mobility, if you want to be a little bit more self-sufficient and you like the style, you could swap one of these 2 out and learn StarLord instead. And I would say if you are going to do that, swap out Hela and put StarLord there. One of these 2. But Hela's a better DPS, I would say, overall, because you're not just relying on her ult so much. For strategists, Rocket, man, you have to. Rocket is very, very good. And then I would honestly say Loki. I think Loki is really, really good and kind of underrated. He's tough to learn, though. So you don't really see a lot of good Lokis. It's all about positioning. It's all about where you put the clones, how you time using your regen and stuff like that for the, the rune that pops up and it creates like the healing zone where you can't be killed. Any incoming damage just turns into extra healing. You legitimately, there's not like an instance of damage that can kill you. Like with Luna, if you pass over while in Luna's ult over 3 penny mines, you get destroyed. That doesn't happen in this circumstance because it turns it back. It turns it into more healing. So it makes you invincible. Loki is so good. And if you're putting the clones in the right places and you're good at swapping back and forth and knowing how to move forward and bring your clones with you and all of that stuff, he's insane. He's absolutely insane. Shoot at people's feet with him though. Don't shoot at the bodies, shoot at the feet. It does area of effect damage and healing. And honestly, okay, so the priority, I feel very good about this. Learn these 2 tanks, learn these 2 DPS, and learn these 2 support characters. 100%. You will not be sorry that you spent time on these people, for sure. I did kind of pass over Penny, and I'm realizing that now. Penny is very good, and I'm starting to see a lot better skill use with her, placement of mines, positioning on the map. I'm starting to see players utilize her in a much different way. And objectively speaking, like as far as like playing an objective goes, is what I mean. She is very good at controlling an objective zone. I do want to bump her up. I don't know that I would put her in God tier because it is a little bit niche, I think, what you're trying to do with her. But if you're good at protecting that nest and you've got good healers keeping you alive, it can be real tough for an enemy team to progress. That's just a fact. I was playing a game earlier today and we had a Penny on our team. It was on Midtown. The enemy team, when they were on offense, they didn't even get like out of the base area until like 30 seconds left or something like that. Like they didn't get to the first checkpoint, but it took them so long to even just get out of there because they couldn't even get to this Penny's nest. The way that she was playing and how she was like maneuvering around and everything. And I was playing as Rocket, just focus healing her, making sure she stayed up. It was wild. She was like netting people in their ults. Her net, it's a stun. It'll cancel people's ults. She was super, super good. But like that was a God tier player as Penny. But yeah, she's really good. Anyway, I think that this tier list is really, really solid. Let's just throw these back down here. I mean, they were all God tier anyway, right? We'll throw them down in there. I think for team comps right now, if you're playing with 6 people, like this is going to be probably one of the strongest things that you can do right now. would be to play a team comp like this. And then as far as like the 6th player would go, you're kind of free to do what you want at that point. Like, you could run another healer. Why not? You know, you could get Luna on your team if someone's good. You could, because you only really need Moon Knight as DPS. Like, Venom does a ton of DPS. Loki does good DPS. Emma does a ton of damage. Like, that's the other thing with the situation right now is like people feel like you got to have a duelist on your team, but you kind of don't. Like, everybody deals a lot of damage. Up close, Rocket can melt people. So I just think, honestly, I'd be tempted to throw another tank in here, like really make this a good like diving comp where they're constantly disrupted and it leaves a lot of room for your Moon Knight to really just kind of do his thing. And he can hang out around the Loki clones, which allows them to, you know, pull up the regen, so it makes it so you can't even take down the Moon Knight. Like, this would be a crazy comp, honestly. If you don't want to play Thing in there, you could put Thor in there too. Honestly, it's pretty endless how you could fill this last spot. You could just go with whatever you feel like, and that person could alternate and swap as well and play different people depending on what they're trying to do, or what's working or not working. For a second comp, I think, like, let's say these aren't in the mix. These two are getting banned, so let's not pick those. Let's just throw Thing down here. Let's throw Thor down here. You can do a good like heavy dive comp here. Let's say Loki and Rocket get banned. It happens sometimes. You know, here's your opportunity then to run, you know, something like this, or you could put Jeff in here too, for either one of these. It really just depends. But I think that like this would be a really strong comp for sure. I just think that there are certain teams right now that are just so good. Like, you could do this too, honestly, because you have Rocket here. You could throw Punisher in. This would be a really strong team. Both of these would be very, very strong teams. And you see comps like this. You do, like, I actually do see teams like this, and it's a great team. But as long as you're picking, I honestly think if you're picking from this God tier list, you have enough options of everything that I think it makes it pretty clear, like, who you need to be playing. And, like, you know, obviously you can play whoever you want, but just take my word for it. Like, these are really good people to be playing with. And I think that, you know, the games speak for themselves. So I hope that you guys found this interesting. Like I said, if you haven't subbed yet, please take a chance to do so, or take a moment to do so. The more subs I have, the more likely it is my wife will let me game. So I'm going to continue to do this, keep things updating, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's helpful. Hope it improves your game, and stay tuned for the next video. Coming soon.